Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
Hi, Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
Welcome back to all of our returning subscribers. Hello, all you new people. We talk about cross stitch. It's stabbing fabric and making patterns with it.
The cat says hello as well.
Yeah.
Today is Monday, February 24th, 2020. It's the last Monday of February.
Dun, dun, dun.
Month is almost over.
Yay.
January takes like 11 billion years, and February takes 2 seconds.
Though I will say I'm actually kind of glad that a leap year is Saturday.
Why?
Trying to do a due date 1 year from the 29th of February is a brat.
Oh, yeah.
Because half our customers think it should be the 28th. The other half think it should be March 1st. And we always put it on the opposite one.
I think you all should say this is what our due date's going to be. That's just me.
Yeah, usually we ask Tom and Tom, the boss, and he'll say, okay, we're doing it this way. And any customers that complain are told, oh, well.
There you go.
Except for the one guy who's new who puts February 29th, 2021.
Because apparently he's never looked at a calendar.
Force of habit.
Yes. Friday night was fun night at the LNS. And apparently my planner and my planning and my count and all of that is obsessive, but hey.
Who said it was obsessive?
Everybody. You do you, boo. I'll do me. That's all I got to say anymore.
Sorry for the shaking. He's furry.
Catquake. So, in other news, I did a thing.
So specific.
I did a thing. Remember that group I joined? Myth and Magic Stitches? And I was like, I'm just happy being a villager. I can put extra stitches in. I can support my friends. Yeah, I'm now a giant.
Yeah. Full story. Laura said, I will join a clan if people from Virtual Stitchers form a clan. Yeah, you probably gave him the idea.
No, I think the idea was there.
Keep in mind, he ignores us most of the day.
But, yeah, I was asked to join the Giants. So I'm a clan. So there's that. Because, you know, I'm obsessive.
B5O Laura's gonna crush you.
Why don't you tell the people who we got love from?
This one?
This one.
Okay.
This
Bridget,
row, this row, and that
Gina, Cheryl, Andrea, Glenna, Bridget, and Victoria.
They gave us love. And Cheryl assured us that her Lord of the Rings prompt last week was purely an accident with my Lord of the Rings piece. I'm sure it was.
No, that's just epically funny timing.
It really was. And I mean, really, at this point, after I had started it, any prompt for the next however many years with Lord of the Rings would be.
Anything to do with a ring, a circle, a hoop. Myth and Magic.
I mean, really.
Hot guys.
True story.
Hot
and
older
Victoria
men.
pointed out to me that I just called to say I love you. It's a Stevie Wonder song because I couldn't remember. Or said the wrong thing. I don't really remember. So, that's it. Let's move on to whips. Whips!
Whoosh.
And I have a couple FFOs. Because I FFO'd stuff because of Fun Night. Because, you know, you got to show off your FFOs.
Okay, I got Hyrule Light World from Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past. It is on hand-dyed by the Slovak farm, 18 count, lake effect warning. I didn't get much done, I'm not going to lie. I just got like maybe that bit right there.
He didn't stitch too much.
Yeah, my bug and I had an argument. I don't know why, but we did.
We were off market on Saturday, so it was a video game day.
Well, the mine I made in my video game falling on my head kind of ate up a few hours to fix.
Mm-hmm. I broke the stitch binder rings. I bought new ones. There was a saga to it. I have extender ones now so that everything fits. On to the book of obsessive.
Whoever said that, kiss my furry freckled.
So, last week was Leap Year Week in Daily 30. Daily 30 is a challenge group that I am in. That is a closed group. If there are openings, we will let you know. Myth and Magic Stitches is an open group. Or, well, it's a group you can be added to. I believe they have it set for private, though, so if you really want to join, let me know.
They're a recruiting group.
It's based on the same premise of stitch counts. Villagers count stitches. They earn items. They give items to clans. I'm in a clan, so there's a whole nother level to it now. So, after I painstakingly worked to finish my stitches for whatever I was working on, Lady of the Flag for, on Monday of my stitching last week, like, it took forever for me to feel like I was actually accomplishing something. Let me tell you.
Except, Lord.
It just took forever.
Did you hear the boom?
That would be the cat rubbing on the banister downstairs in the basement.
Okay, I need to fix
that. So I had to stitch on something that I had to wait to start. I explained what all the prompts were in last week's video, so I don't remember. I had to stitch on something I had to wait to start. So, Lady of the Flag, I had to wait to get the pattern. I had to wait to start it when I wanted it. So on and so forth. So that was my wait to start project. And I would just like to tell you that there are 8 colors in this white stripe.
What?
It took me forever to get to 302 stitches on this stripe of white.
I'm waiting for you to lower your darn stitch. I love you. It'll be okay. You know, there's only one good thing.
Constant color change. What?
At least they're in blocks. It's not one.
Well, okay, but the thing of it is, there are, like, around this chunk of white, there's like a row of one blue and a row of another blue and a row of a third blue. So they're really not in blocks. They're in, like, rows. And the rows are, like, maybe 10 stitches long. And it's, I mean, it's countable, but you really got to be on your counting game. It took me forever to get to 302 stitches on this, but I did it. Yay! This is a hand-dyed by the Slovak farm, For Your Thoughts. 32 count. Mirrors are designed to be stitched on 32 count. They fit on a fat quarter of 32 count or 16 count, and the beads fit perfectly. You could do them on 28. You just wouldn't have.
Sometimes just do it on the colorful.
You might need a bigger piece of fabric, or you might have smaller margins. Okay. So,
now is that over 2 or over 1?
That is over 2. That's 2 over 2.
So an 18/8 would work.
No, an 18/8 would be too small. 32 count is equal to 16 count Ada.
Oh, 16. Sorry.
A 16 count Ada would work, but there are some fractional stitches, so you would have to contend with that.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
So, still haven't fixed this cover sheet. I needed to stitch on something I could relate back to a birthday. Something I started for a birthday or something that was part of a birthday style. I started this for Jesus' birthday. And I don't know what he's over to make a noise for. And while I was working on Lady of Flag, this was my take to work project. Because this is a lot easier to take to work than Lady of the Flag. So I got 303 stitches in, and it was mostly, actually I think it was all in the wings. So she's starting to take shape. That is on a 14 count, whatever the kit fabric tray was.
Fixed it.
Thank you, darling. Okay. Then, of course, we have to relate something to Lord of the Rings.
This is such a stretch. I mean, I don't know.
It's such a challenge relating to Lord of the Rings, although several people on Virtual Stitchers were like, Laura, help me out. You're the Lord of the Rings love.
You should have asked me. I put you to shame and you know it.
Well, you weren't down here stitching. So I put in 300 stitches on Arwen and Argon. It's not going back in very nicely. It's not coming out of the thing nicely. This is done on an 18 count Ada. It's a bad shape. Okay. I did 3 blocks here. 2, 1, 2, and a third. Yeah, it doesn't look like nothing. It's not going to look like anything for a while.
It looks like squares. It looks like you're playing Tetris. Bum, 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 bum.
It's not super confetti heavy, so it does move fairly quickly. Just not.
I will say this.
Solids.
She got those 300 stitches done in a third of the time it took for Lady of the Flag.
Ever on Lady of the Flag, and I just wanted to cry. And I thought I'm never going to get anywhere this week with stitching, and then it was like, bam. Okay.
She was complaining profusely.
I was. We had to stitch on something. I thought I had stitched more on this. We had to stitch on something that we could relate back to fall. King Alfred the Great died in October of 899. That relates to fall. So we have Ride Forth Singing. I finished. Can I get a little help?
I thought you were only doing half.
Hold it up. I finished this corner here. I finished down in the corner. So the border is all complete. This is on a 14 count silk weavers in pink champagne. The only thing I have left to stitch on this is that big old horse silhouette.
Want some good news? No confetti.
No confetti.
So if you blocked it out, it'd probably be easy.
It'll be nice, easy stitching.
Ow.
Sorry. Almost done. Yay, team. Okay.
I provide emotional support.
Yes, thank you. Then I had to stitch on something. I don't know what I had to stitch on. Oh. Find it. So, we are now up to Saturday. The clan wars started on Saturday. I might have stitched a lot this week. I did other stuff too.
Doesn't change the fact you stitched a lot.
I cleaned down here on Sunday. I did some work. I had another finishing order.
I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. Jesus.
I can't get the bag open. Let's get the project out. So, I just stitched on something with a sheep on it. I didn't have anything with a sheep on it. I was like, do I want to start anything with a sheep on it? I had a heartstring samplery, Barnyard. It's the Festive Little Fob series. This is the Barnyard edition. I really got it because of that tractor. And I want to stitch the tractor into a fob for me. This guy back here is Piggy's though. You can't get a real good representation of the chart looking at the pitch cover photo. Like I said, this is Piggy's. I want to stitch that too. But I knew these were sheep, so I stitched those. And then I stitched this little guy. And I'm going to FFO them for my my stitched item in the gift exchange box for the retreat in April.
Dun, dun, dun.
They're done. I started and finished it on Saturday. I started and finished it on Saturday. So I did 302 stitches in this was 302 stitches.
I think it was designed for 300 prompt.
This and these two things. Now this was charted to be an initial. I just put a heart in it since I don't know who's going to get it. This and this were 93 stitches. So that totals 395 stitches altogether. I had to stitch Rumpelstiltskin a feather Saturday night or Sunday morning.
How much is a feather?
No, that wasn't my feather prompt. I had to stitch a feather for something. A feather is 75 stitches. I was like, I'm just finishing this because I want to get it done. And not have it languishing in my whip pile with like, what? I knew there was less than 100 stitches on it. So I was like, I'm just going to get it done. Get her done. So start and to finish. And then moved on to my monthly.
Yeah, I'm going to hold that for you.
That's good. We're good. I moved on to the monthly prompt, the last monthly prompt for February, which I don't remember what the song was. Something about being on track. That's all I can remember. Something about being on track. Because I related the line on track in the song to deer tracks. Sorry, there's glare. It is what it is. To deer tracks on my animal coaster. I did 520 stitches. I have 50, less than 60 stitches in this corner. I know this because I counted it, because the plan was I was going to get to 500 stitches on this and drop it for a 500 stitch item, and then use those 50 stitches for a small 50 stitch item. I didn't get there. Rumpelstiltskin came. Rumpelstiltskin wanted feathers from us, so I had to stitch on feathers. I had to stitch for a feather.
I have a stupid question.
I will finish those 50 stitches before the end of the week, come heck or high water, because it will be done this month.
Just don't do anything to anger the dragons this time.
Look, I'm not going to tick off the dragons.
Because I hate to break it to you, when it comes to giants and dragons, the giant's just a bigger roaster. I'm a little closer to the biting parts.
So, that was my stitching for weekly prompts this week. And that totaled 1,583 stitches. I had tons of extra time to stitch, and I needed to stitch my feather for Rumpelstiltskin and other stuff. So I busted out my crystal snowflake ornament, which needed to be finished. Hold that. Which was 97 stitches, which I used for my feather for Rumpel. But 97 stitches finished it. It is kind of hard to see on camera. It's a silver metallic, a blue metallic, and blue beads. I gotta get a snowflake button for in the middle. But it's basically done. And then with still more stitching time, I decided to start this week's prompts last night. And when we get into plans, I'll kind of explain why I was like, well, I'm just going to start the prompts. I needed to start, I had planned on starting on I planned on starting an ornament the last Sunday of every month anyways. So I could fit this ornament into a prompt, so I did. I'm doing Peppermint Wreath out of the, these are both out of the Just Cross Stitch 2019 edition. Holly Jolly Peppermint Wreath is by Luha Stitches. And Crystal Snowflake. Sorry guys, I should have done this earlier. Crystal Snowflake is by Saving Grace's Fine Needle Arts. So I only needed 200 stitches for the prompt, but I needed 400 stitches for an item in Stitching Wars. I greatly underestimated the amount of stitches that was in this little wreath, because that is 430 stitches.
You still have the circle to do.
I still have the circle to do. So.
Nice life preserver. That's what it looks like. It looks like a twirly version of life preserver.
And these are both stitched on a blue Aida, 14 count Aida that I dyed. It doesn't have a name because it's a solo, because it was one of my first dye jobs. I've literally been chunking off this piece of Aida for... I keep using it for ornaments. I keep using it for ornaments because it's a really nice blue for ornaments.
Next month Sunday ornament, there's an ornament that I'd like to stitch.
Okay.
Shouldn't take too long. It's fun thing to do with you.
Okay. So that was 403 stitches. So I did 520 stitches on the monthly. I did 1,583 stitches on the weekly prompts. I did 190 random extra stitches, plus 433 stitches for next week's prompt. I did 2,726 stitches this week.
You were one prompt from 3,000!
I really was.
I did 100. You did 2,700. Even when I stitch a lot, I get maybe 500.
And I promise, I have a full-time job, and I work from home, and I keep my house, even though it looks like crap because there's clutter everywhere.
Hey, I've been helping with the housekeeping, haven't I?
And I cook dinner. He does the dishes.
And I did what Sunday?
And he does help with keeping the house, but I'm just saying. I mean, it's not like I'm neglecting my responsibilities.
No, you're not. It's called, that's what you do for fun. And that's what happens when you do these for fun, and that's the only thing you do for fun.
That's what I do.
Yep. It also helps that you do that for every time you're in a passenger seat.
This is also very true. When we're going somewhere and I'm in the car, I always have something with me.
Yeah, and there's some trips I tell her to take something she really likes, because she doesn't like certain bridges. So I was like, hey, honey, get really intent on your stitching.
I mean, even if we're going like 5 minutes across town, I will tend to have something in the car with me. Because that's just how I roll. So let's go to Hall.
Weren't there from finishes?
Oh, I did some FFOs. You're right.
I was close! Finishing. That's what I was thinking of. Not finishes, but finishing
I
up.
did some FFOs. I'm still on my FFOing kick. However, my FFOing kick has been tempered by the fact that people want me to FFO their stuff for them, and they're paying me to do it.
Does that mean I have to pay you to get my stuff done now?
No.
Because I was going to write you a check from the shared account.
So the first thing I FFO'd is very old. They were 3 different Janlin kits.
I remember that one.
You remember me stitching that one? Yeah, I stitched them when I was in college. So there's a cat on a pillow sleeping, dreaming of fishes. There's a cat in a grocery bag. And there's a cat on a...
Because you showed me that one because of the fact I'm in the computer, so you showed me that one to get a laugh out of me.
I did. I stitched this while I was in college. They went into the bin of shame. I finished them. Cute little backing fabric.
Honey, instead of the bin of shame, let's call it the bin of future promise.
Okay. And it is one piece of ribbon. It's one piece of ribbon strung continuously through there. Just to make my life easier.
And more structurally stable, I might add.
And this is also true. And then, y'all remember Lady Liberty from Blackbird Designs that I said, oh, I'm going to finish it into a pillow, a double-sided pillow. I lied. I ended up finishing it into 2 pillows so that you can see both sides. So this is supposed to be a drum. This was the middle, and it had an alphabet on either side. That's where you attached it. I don't stitch alphabets. I know my ABCs. This is why I'm not a sampler girl. I don't like to stitch alphabets. And yes, I do know that there are plenty of samplers out there without alphabets. And then the little Lady Liberty holding her flag with her little needle. Just went flying across the room. Back with some random fabric that I had. So now I have some little pillow smalls to stick and stuff for.
No, that's so she can throw them at me.
I usually I like to put patriotic stuff up Memorial Day and leave it up through Labor Day.
In all honesty, you could put some strings on those and hang them up year-round.
Probably. I tend to not have a lot of late summer. I don't have a whole lot of summery decorations. My summer decorations are patriotic. It is what it is, folks. Okay, now we can go on to haul. Haul, y'all.
Yeehaw. I already used up my loud noise for the day.
I paid for my Nashville. I paid for my Nashville needlework market cash with Shelly.
And in all honesty, nothing floated my fancy, which is not unusual.
I really only wanted like 3 things. I mean, there were other things that I wanted.
What can I say? Most of the popular stuff are for women.
But the 3 things that I ordered are things that I know I will stitch, so.
Which is always a good thing.
While at Fun Night, I bought 4 more flosses for Arwen and Argon. I'm going to have to go to Joann's and just buy the DMCs because some of the colors have not been in stock for a while. Some of the Sullivans have not been in stock for a while. And then I got a wild hair at my butt last month. When don't I, right? But I got wild hair. And I messaged Joe from Silks For You and I said, hey, do you guys have a waiting list for the Silk of the Month Club? Because I was pretty sure that they did. They did. And then I was pretty sure that it was full. Joe messaged me back and she said, by chance, I happen to have an opening you can have. So I'm now in Silks for You Silk of the Month Club. I was full of wild hairs last week.
I have one question.
What?
How are you sitting down?
I don't know. Silks for You Silk of the Month Club is $20 a month. You get 5. These are my 5 beautiful 10-meter skeins of silk floss. So you get 50 meters of silk floss. This January's was a lovely autumn offering, autumnal offering. It comes in a pretty organza bag. I don't know, because it's the dead of summer in Australia.
This is from Australia?
It's $20 shipped from Australia. You don't pay more than $20. It's not $20 plus shipping. It's $20 shipped.
Wow.
So I have paid for February's. I really don't know when they'll come because one of the things is they come from Australia, so there's no tracking. And they just kind of show up in the mail. Very pretty. Something else for me to use. They do not come named. They're just January 2020 Silk of the Month 1 through 5.
No fun
February's.
games.
So, I mean, we could randomly name them ourselves if we wanted to, but...
Autumn medley.
Autumnal medley.
Literally, if you wanted to do a deciduous forest in the fall, that would have your leaves covered.
I'll see the mess on the floor at my feet. Moving on to plans. Plans and announcements.
Yay!
What's your plans, darling?
None. Probably Zelda. Maybe not. I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Excuse me. So, my plans are hashtag virtual stitchers made me do it. Stitching Clan Wars. It's called Myth and Magic Stitching Wars. Hashtag Megan made me do it. Megan is my clan leader. Megan is the one who messaged me and said, do you want to be in my clan? It's me, Megan, MJ, Missy, and Kat from Virtual Stitchers. And then there was another gal who was in the group, Claire, who wanted to be in a clan. And we're like, we'll take you. You know, we don't have a plan for having a 5th person at this point. So we took her. She is a delight.
Is that the size of the clan limit?
That's the clan limit. It's 5 people.
So they're not really clans, they're parties.
Whatever. She is a wonderful person. We have convinced her to join Virtual Stitchers. We're working on getting her to get on Virtual Stitchers. If you would like to join Virtual Stitchers, send me a message. The drama has calmed down, but I'm still a little bit leery of adding the link to my videos. So I will be stitching for clan items in addition to stitching my prompts. I've tried to make my prompts for Cheryl's Daily 30 group fit so that I can get decent stitch counts in for the Myth and Magic stitching. The asterisk to this would be Cheryl is going to Nashville Needlework Market to help out a shop owner that she's friends with. So we're not going to have prompts the week of Nashville Needlework Market. So the prompts we got this prompts we got on Friday, the prompts we'll have this coming Friday are all 3 weeks. There is 10 prompts of 200 stitches each for this 3-week block. I don't know what next week's looks like. Contrary to popular belief, I am not that in the know. So we have 3 weeks to finish 10 prompts of 200. I've tried to block them together just because, number one, as much as I like touching all of the different projects, I do kind of want to
get some done.
Get some chunks done, not just for Myth and Magic, but for my own self. So, We are visiting the Grand Canyon. And these are not in the order she gave us. You guys saw the project I picked for... There's two that I did not block together. You guys saw the project for this prompt. There are roughly 1,000-ish caves in the Grand Canyon, but nobody really knows. Because only 335 of them have been recorded. And only one of them has been thoroughly explored. That one is called the Cave of the Dome. And it is open to the public to go see. So we had to stitch on something that was dome-shaped. That had a dome shape. I had a plan for this. I got to stitching my wreath yesterday and went, wait, if you flip the wreath upside down, that's a dome.
Domes are circles.
So my peppermint wreath is my dome shape. The first expedition to the Grand Canyon was in 1869. The first full expedition of the Grand Canyon was in 1869 by Major John Wesley Powers. And he was the first person to call it the Grand Canyon. It had other canyon-type names, but he was the first person to actually call it the Grand Canyon. So we are to stitch on our expedition piece. That is our first piece into something. I have a lot of options for this because Lord of the Rings is my first full coverage. Lady of the Flag.
Use your first mirror, I think.
It's my first. Yes, it's my first mirror. It's not my first Pretty Lady. I've done Joan Elliott's before. But I went with Winter Fury picture. Because that's my first shadowing. And I think shadowing is a monumental undertaking. In 1908, the Grand Canyon was named a monument. In 1919, it was named a national park. We are supposed to stitch on a project that has something that we would consider a landmark on it.
I want to see if what's in my head is right.
What's in your head?
Either Main Street or Santa's house.
I'm doing the conversion to make her look like Lady Liberty.
That works.
I thought that was fitting. We also have to stitch on something. So, the weather varies greatly in the canyon. You know, altitude changes. All that. The hottest place, or the coldest place in the canyon is Bright Angel Ranger Station. The hottest place in the canyon is Phantom Ranch. They are just 8 miles apart from each other.
Is that as a crow flies or just on a map?
I'm not sure. She didn't specify that. So, we can stitch on either our hottest piece, our piece that we can relate to something hot, or a piece that we can relate to something cold, or we can get extra tokens if we do both. I was thinking about this, and I thought, what is my piece that I can relate to hot? Cold's easy. Cold was easy. Santa's house. It's got snow on it.
I was just going to go with North Flipping Pole.
In North Pole. Cold was easy. So I thought, hot. And I thought, well, and I was going to be kind of creative with this. And I was going to go with New Year's Fairy. Because in Australia, New Year's is the hottest time of their year. But then the whole Clan Wars thing was there, and I was like, I need something that I can get big chunks of stitches on. The Clan Wars, I should say the Stitching Wars, was there, and I needed things I could get big chunks of stitches on. So, Lady of the Flag is holding a big old torch. I'll do 200 more stitches on her. So I'm going to do 400 stitches on her total for the week.
Can I be smart?
What?
I'm surprised you didn't do Lord of the Rings.
Because Viggo Mortensen's on there and he's hot. There will be stitching on Lord of the Rings. The Grand Canyon is bigger than the state of Rhode Island. It is a whopping 1 mile deep. It is 277 miles long. And it is 18 miles wide. It is 1,904 square miles. The state of Rhode Island is 1,212 square miles. It's bigger than the state of Rhode Island. We are to stitch on our biggest whip. What's my biggest whip, y'all?
I was just talking about it.
The full coverage. Because it is 575 stitches by
The blanket?
325 stitches. It's ginormous. Biggest whip. It is 200 miles from the North Ring to the South Ring. From the North Rim Visitor Center to the South Rim Visitor Center, and it will take you 4 hours to get there by car. So we are to stitch on something that is taller than 200 stitches. 325 stitches tall. So Lord of the Rings will be getting 400 stitches in on it. The Supai Village is a village in the Grand Canyon. It is the only village in the Grand Canyon. And they are the only people that live in the Grand Canyon. There's 208 of them. I'm thinking they might be Native American. She didn't specify. It is the most remote town in the continental United States. We are to stitch on something with 2 or more houses. The buildings in downtown Wellington, which I'm doing my Main Street modeling after, have apartments above them. Those are houses. Plus, the Main Street Village houses look kind of, the Main Street buildings look kind of like houses in some of them. So, I am pretty much, I started stitching on this today, by the way. I'm pretty much done with this block. So we'll be moving on to this block. And this completes my goal on Main Street for the year. We're just going to keep chugging until, as I have prompts for it. The pink rattlesnake is only found in the Grand Canyon. It is one of 6 types of rattlesnakes found in the Grand Canyon. The pink rattlesnake is pink because it camouflages into the rocks in the Grand Canyon. There you go. So we have to stitch on something that has something long and thin and snake-like on it. Those borders are nice and long and thin.
I was going to go with the fabric.
The fabric as well.
Because you can just roll that right into a tube. It's a really long tube.
True story.
Sure.
You get bonus points if you stitch on an actual snake. I'm not stitching an actual snake.
Yeah, right.
Unless we want to call my fabric rolled up a snake. I don't think the moderators will fly for that. So that's getting 400 stitches this week. Yes. The rock squirrel. I just realized I did not show you a preview of what Red Frith singing would look like when it's finished, when I did whips. The rock squirrel is the most dangerous animal in the Grand Canyon. It bites more visitors a year than the Gilea monster, which is a poisonous lizard, or the bighorn sheep, which are found in the canyon.
Wait a minute. Squirrels and sheep are in the most dangerous animal category?
Bighorn sheep are very dangerous. Bighorn sheep will attack you when their territory is threatened. Most people realize that and stay away from the sheep, and the sheep live in the pretty remote parts of the canyon. The squirrels live, I mean, they probably live up at the visitor center because, hello, kitties eating their snackies at the visitor center, dropping food everywhere.
Sounds like these things bite the kids and take the food.
I mean, they probably bite you and take your food. I don't know.
Jeez Louise! I feel like I need to bring a freaking battle gear to go to see the Grand Canyon. Sir, where are you in full plate? I heard you had biting squirrels.
You got squirrels that bite.
Through this.
You got venomous rattlesnakes. You got poisonous lizards.
Yeah, full plate. Bite through that. Plus, it'll give me an excuse to go buy a full plate armor suit.
I am a dragon. I am not a lizard. I don't do that tongue thing. What movie is that from?
Comment below.
What movie is that from?
I know.
So we have to stitch on something with an animal. Bonus points if it's a squirrel. I don't have anything with a squirrel, but I do have a big old horse on ride for singing. That will be stitched on for that. And finally, the Grand Canyon has a phenomenon called the Great Unconformity. That is where, in the Grand Canyon, there is a 200 million year old rock layer next to a rock layer that is 100.2 billion years old. Nobody knows why they're that close together. They can't figure it out. So we are supposed to stitch on something that we have left a layer off of. Easy enough. Ride for Singing, it's hard to see. There's a border on the outside of the flower border. I'm not doing it. I like the border the way it is. I like the border, it's just the flowers. It's nothing against Stephanie from Lindy Stitches. I just don't want to stitch that. So I'm leaving that layer off. So there's my missing layer. So that will give 400 stitches in the next. Let's be real. I'm going to give myself a week and a half to stitch on this. Sunday gives us the new monthly prompts. So we'll see what that's going to be for March. Friday gives us a new 3-week prompts for Cheryl's group. I'm going to temper myself with a week and a half for Grand Canyon week and whatever she's got cooked up for next Friday or for this Friday. I told her we might ride if we don't get a Nashville themed prompt during market. I don't know if she's going to go with that, but it would be great fun if she did.
Maybe she might do one on nagging.
I don't nag her. I give her great ideas.
The hashtag being another good one too. It's great ideas.
I've given her great ideas. Maybe she'll do something Nashville related for the monthly for March. I don't know. People think I'm in that kind of a no. I'm not.
Just because we talk to somebody doesn't mean we know how their brain works.
I give her great ideas, but I'm not a moderator of the group, so I don't know. So that's our plans for the week. Announcements. Next Tuesday after you see this, is the cutoff for guaranteed rate for the room. If you're thinking about coming to the retreat, room rate for the retreat. If you're thinking about coming to the retreat, get your room booked. If you're like, I don't know if I got the money to pay for it right now, get your room booked. Shoot me a message. We'll work it out. If you book your room and you fill out the retreat form, send me a message. Because apparently I missed one. Oops. I missed one. I did get in touch with the person that I missed. I don't know how I missed it. I just did. Anyways, so plans, announcements, haul, whips.
Bye.
We've covered it all. What do we want the people to do, honey?
If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Like the video, share, comment. There's a little bell thing that gives you better notifications because YouTube's algorithms, universally by all YouTubers agree, stink. I haven't heard a single praise from any YouTuber, and I watch a good number of them. And I listen to our Flosstubers too.
And if you've made it this far, I would like to apologize for the length of the video because between whips and plans, it's a long one. Sorry. It's going to be long next week too. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.